guys, it's Jada again, and today I'm going to be doing a literary analysis of Attributes of an Academic Discipline by Joshua Kim. This seems to be a very hot topic right now in the education world, so I do appreciate that Kim took the time to provide another source of information for the audience to reference about this topic. I think that it's always helpful to have other sources to refer to. An academic discipline is defined as a field of study or branch of knowledge taught and researched as a part of higher education by Wikipedia.com. So this article is laid out with 6 points that Kim took from another author's piece. I thought that was a very interesting way to go about it, something that I hadn't really witnessed before. And then he goes on to analyze how learning innovation and higher ed change fare according to these points. So he basically takes these points and looks at higher ed change and sees how it holds up in reference to these points. I found that the audience that he is trying to reach is high school and post-secondary educators. I don't think that lower ed teachers would be involved in this at all. Maybe higher ed students would also be interested. I think that the purpose of this article is to inform the audience about the issue at hand. I can see a bit of the author's voice in this piece, but I found that it was fairly bland. I think that a lot more information could have been included in the introduction. And the format is something that I haven't really witnessed before, but the introduction I felt really lost me before I could even start reading the piece. And I thought that the article in general could be a lot more effective if the points were a bit more fleshed out. But I felt that there was a lot of information that was left to be desired at the end of this piece, and that might simply be because I'm not the audience that he was speaking towards. But I personally had to Google a lot of things to really understand what this article was saying, so I found that to be a bit frustrating. I also found it to be very interesting that Kim relies so heavily on another author's work in this piece, that author being Armin Krishnan. I found the intro of this article to be very choppy, as I previously mentioned, and much too brief. However, I have no previous knowledge about this topic, as I mentioned, so his audience must be very specific for people to understand this. Kim also gives his opinion about the definition of academic disciplines, but he never really addresses about how he feels about higher ed change fitting into this category. And I also found that the 6 characteristics that he mentioned from the other author's piece were elaborated on in varying degrees, and that he switched between talking about the subject and talking to the audience fairly quickly, and I found that to be quite confusing as the reader. I also find that it was quite interesting that Kim is just so wishy-washy about his opinion regarding this, and he closes the piece with so many questions for the audience. I thought that there's a lot of different directions that he could have gone with the closing of this piece, but maybe that's just his style. I felt that the questions started to get deeper as the piece went on, and I thought that maybe he would want to give his opinion about those pieces before wrapping it up so quickly.